Yes, we have a winner!
Square Enix recently announced Dragon Quest XI, and it just looks awesome! With a 3DS version that simultaneously plays in the graphical style of both the DS and Super Nintendo games, and a PS4 and Nintendo NX version that brings the series to a home console for the first time since Dragon Quest VIII in 2004. Now, when is this coming to North America? Well, we might bring it over if Dragon Quest Heroes sells well. Huh? So you're telling me that the fate of the main series will be decided based on the sales of a spin-off? You're telling me that people who want this are completely dependent on the success of this? This is either genius marketing for Dragon Quest Heroes, getting people who normally wouldn't be into this kind of thing to try something new, or much more likely, a really scummy and ill-informed business decision. Could you imagine if any other company did something like this? That would be like if Nintendo canceled all Animal Crossing games because people didn't like Amiibo Festival. As pathetic as this is, I decided to do my part and buy a copy to see if the game is at least worth being a Kickstarter for Dragon Quest XI. If you haven't heard, Dragon Quest Heroes is what happened after Hyrule Warriors did really well and Tecmo decided to dip their Warriors series in a different coat of paint. So instead of slow turn-based combat, we're treated to intense action where we slaughter hordes of enemies with every attack. If only it was this easy in the main games. It may seem like an odd choice to change a turn-based game into a flashy hack and slash, but it works surprisingly well. There's a pleasant level of depth, much greater than what you see on the surface, and a wealth of differences between this title and Hyrule Warriors that makes it more than just a new paint job. The story begins in a world where monsters and humans live in harmony, but then an evil wizard with an awesome mustache casts a spell that turns the monsters against the humans, which then gives you full reign to commit remorseless genocide against your former friends. As opposed to just starting you in a world like any other Dragon Quest game where the monsters are violent and already attack you. You then travel the world, protecting the different cities while meeting the heroes of several Dragon Quest games as they enter your world from their own dimensions. On the one hand, this story is ripe with plot holes, and it's quite uncomfortable in the ways you murder what used to be your friends, but on the other hand, it's a crossover spin-off, so who cares? I'm sure plot was an afterthought as they focused on the gameplay and animation, and that they did. On the surface, it may look like you just press square and kill everything, but that's far from the truth. You press circle and kill everything. All jokes aside, there are a lot more layers than just button mashing and all power. There is a surprising level of challenge in certain missions when it comes to protection, area management, and just holding your own against bosses. Combat involves 2 attack buttons, which you can string together into combos, as well as spells to wipe out a patch of monsters or buff your characters that are both named after and function like they do in the main games. This does bring up one minor disappointment when compared to Hyrule Warriors. In that game, you can unlock numerous new flashy combo finishers to further extend what you see in the game, but in Dragon Quest Heroes, you just get what you start with, add up to 2 more spells, and then some minor upgrades to those attacks. This combined with the fact that there are less characters than Hyrule Warriors and none of these characters get new weapon types means there is a significantly smaller amount of ways to play. But what is there is done very well. The cast brings together many characters from mainline Dragon Quest titles, and each of them uses a weapon class from those games. Staff, wand, bow, whip, axe, fists, spear, boomerang, sword and shield, sword and shield, sword and shield. No claws or knife. For what it's worth, Dragon Quest Heroes is a lot closer to Dragon Quest than Hyrule Warriors is to Zelda, right down to the horrible puns and awkward sexual tension. It even occasionally makes fun of some of the frustrations of the main games. It works as both fan service and a quality game, though the biggest surprise I found with Dragon Quest Heroes is the sheer amount of content. Very early in the game, you get access to a flying university which acts as a between-mission hub. Here you can participate in various side quests, craft new weapons and accessories, earn various in-game achievements called accolades, earn mini-medals by wiping out 100 of any monster, get mail from various NPCs you've come across or people you've done quests for, and head to the bar to talk to and swap out your party members. Not to mention the maps you can earn in battles that unlock small challenge areas, skill points after every level, and various upgrades you can earn from special quests. It will keep you busy for a long time. If you've been on the fence about Dragon Quest Heroes, then I wholeheartedly recommend it. With its surprising level of content, gorgeous visuals, and solid mechanics, it is definitely worth a play. Supporting the Dragon Quest series in the West is just a bonus. The only real issues I had were the small amount of combos to perform and the armor shop frequently introducing redundant and outdated armor that's only necessary to buy to earn a trophy. It's yet another fantastic Dragon Quest spin-off and should please fans of both Dragon Quest and Dynasty Warriors. I just don't understand why it's now the second spin-off series called Dragon Quest Heroes. I guess they didn't think that one through.